Hi, this is Angie, and I'm excited to be here with Derek Hinkey, who portrays Red Feather in American Primeval. Hi, Derek. Thank you so much for being here.
How
How are
you
you
guys
doing
doing?
today?
Great. How are you?
I'm perfect. Thank you. Your performance in American Primeval was incredible. And congratulations to the whole cast and crew. Everyone did an amazing job. And my first question is that how did you prepare for the role? Not physically, because you are obviously in a good shape, but in your head or emotionally, did you have to prepare for it?
Um, for me, I think a lot of it was understanding the magic in the moment. For me, is since I was a young boy, I understood the magic in the moment. Being present in the moment. Shooting with director Pete Berg, he really plunges you into that scene in that moment, and it almost tricks your mind into I don't want to say believing because for me that moment is real as it can possibly get. So for me, it was just understanding that, bringing that realism, tapping into my genetic DNA makeup, and you know, portraying and making sure that folks can feel the emotions that I'm going through.
Okay. Did you have a stunt double or you did your own stunt?
Yeah, no, no. Big love to again Pete Berg, the director, Netflix production, everybody else, Brand X Stunts. Initially, I show up. I grew up on a ranch. I own cattle. I've been breaking horses, riding bulls, racing horses since I was a kid. Uh, but I'm a retired professional U.S. elite athlete in boxing. So I've kind of spent my younger life on the reservation, on the ranch, but I've always been an athlete. So if I'm not breaking a colt, you won't see me in cowboy boots and Wranglers. I can ride a horse in basketball shorts and Jordans. So I usually show up to cowboy camp just who I am. Um, and they usually ask, how can you ride a horse? And of course, people say, yeah, they can. And, they don't have that skill set. So I would rather show people than tell people I can. And I rode around a few times, and Sled Reynolds, the owner of Fable, the horse I was on American Primeval, he had its big smile and goes, "Oh, you can ride." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can ride." I was like, "I can ride English, Western, Wild Indian, saddle, no saddle, however you want it." So, um, going about a month into cowboy camp, Brand X Stunts, Papa Dash, he gave me a call and he said, "Hey, Derek, how do you feel about doing your own stunts?" And I was super more than happy, and I'm like, I'd be offended if somebody was actually riding a horse that I could ride.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Talking about riding a horse, how can you ride a horse bareback? Is there any special technique?
Um. So I actually, my dad does this with all of our kids, and my like my nephews. He puts them on a horse before they could really walk, and a lot of it is, you're once you're in our tradition, the horse has four legs, which is like the four directions.
Mhm.
So when you're on a horse, you're more connected to the earth than any time. So you learn how to ride and move with the horse, not against the horse. And again, there's a total difference in riding in an enclosure or an arena than riding around hills and mountains and sagebrush and stuff while you're bareback. There's a different skill set. You're more connected, you're more grounded with the horse. There's no real separation. And again, like I said earlier, you're with the four directions of the animal's hooves, you're more grounded and connected to earth.
Huge congrats and huge shout out to the makeup team and the hair and the costumes. I'm curious how long it took to to make you red feather, How long did it take?
You know, when I first got to set, that comes from the captain of the ship, that's Pete. You show up and they usually tell you what you're going to be and how they're going to paint you. Howard Berger, hair and makeup, Johnny, those guys are outstanding. I show up and they're like, "Hey, we want to know who you are and speaking from your spirit, where you come from, how you would paint your face, how you would braid your hair. So Howard and Johnny, we collaborated. I collaborated with those two on Red Feather. On, if you really pay attention to Red Feather, a lot of people don't know this. He has the roach, but he always has two braids, and one side's light and one side's dark. Kind of goes to understanding that for us, we say you got to be connected and you got to know your shadow. You got to have a relationship with your shadow and know that, there is a negative side to everybody, and having that negativity or negative side, you're converting that into light. So there's a light side and a dark side to Red Feather. Really look at his braids, there's dark hair, and then when he goes to the big battle, there's a white braid that's braided from Fable's horse's hair into my hair, which is his. In our culture, we say your puha, your medicine, your power, and that's Red Feather walks. With his balance, he understands who his shadow is. To the makeup part, initially, when I was a little boy, Red Feather was called Wide Smile because he was always happy. So if you really look, the lines coming down, they're not straight. They're thunderbolts because his tears now have turned into thunderbolts. And he's the only, Red Feather's the only Shoshone that has war paint on all the time, because he's always at war with his mind, his body, and his spirit. And I think that was big love to Pete, being the captain of the ship, Howard and Johnny, for like saying, hey, we want to know who you are. We don't want to just make this up and just shoot from the hip. They wanted to know who I was.
Wow. I have seen the show a few times, but I did not notice your hair, so I'm gonna watch it
Yeah,
again and
yeah,
pay attention. Thank
yeah,
you for
yeah.
the information.
Yeah. The
I hmm.
there's always what I was always taught. You don't just do things. Everything has a meaning. So every braid has a meaning. Every feather has a meaning. It's almost like the samurai. You don't always wear your armor, and you sometimes, and only when you need it, you wear it.
Who was your favorite actor or actress to work with in the show?
Oh, hands down, Sarah Lightfoot Leon. She's brilliant. She's amazing. She's talented. She's very, very professional.
Mm.
She was just dialed in, and then a lot of times there's a reaction to an action, and it wasn't hard to react to Sarah. She's so great at what she does. There was a point, one of the first scenes we shot, she was in the tent with the soldiers, and I was outside of the tent, and I'm having these stare out competitions with the soldiers. We're not in a good way, and there's a lot of like animosity there. But then
Yeah.
every time I would look at Sarah, I could see she was hurting. And they started talking about her husband that was she thought was dead,
Yeah.
but they found out she was alive, and she had a little tear come down, and that tough guy and that animosity to them soldiers just went away from me, and I just like had this compassion and empathy just like hit me, and I felt really bad, for her. So again, like she's outstanding at what she does.
Is this the first time you worked with her?
Yeah, first time meeting her, first time working with her. Again, she's just she's one of the best in the business for sure.
Mm. Yeah, she's very talented. That's no
Yeah.
question at all. Yeah. Do you have a favorite scene?
You know, as we were shooting American Primeval, you look at the script and you look at what you're going to shoot, and you're like, man, I'm really looking forward to shooting that, or I'm looking forward to shooting this. Um, but every day it felt like that. Every day we would shoot something, it would blow your mind away. I'm not dramatizing anything. It was a dream. Every day you would think, oh well, this scene's it's not as cool as that scene, and we would shoot stuff, and they're like, wow, you know what I mean? I think it's just backtracking to understanding the magic in the moment, and that was pretty special.
Do you have any funny or cool behind the scenes story?
Um, Off the top of my head right now, I don't know why I can't remember any really. I had a lot of good times on set, but off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything really funny. I did remember the last time we talked, but for now, I don't know why I can't remember any funny, outstanding scenes. But like I said, every day was a good time.
You can tell that story that you told me the last time, if you remember.
I don't. Which one was that?
The when you broke your toe.
Oh yeah, yeah. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Yep, yep. Okay. Yeah. So
Could not share that interview anyway, so now you can tell
boom,
everyone.
that's it. Yeah. So yeah, so the a funny cool story was, and I'm sure I'm the only one that knows this, and now everybody else will know it.
If it's not a
Um,
secret.
yeah, no, it's not a secret no more. Um, so it's actually a really big thing when an actor can do his stunts, but it's also you're walking this thin line because once the actor gets hurt, then pushes production back. Um, So when they let me do my own stunts, I'm always grateful. I've always done my own stunts, and especially for such a big project, it's like it's important. But it's also again you're walking that slope where you got to kind of be careful. Well, Brand X Stunts, JJ and Papa Dash and Pete, they let me do my own stunts. Well, initially when I go knock Woosley off the horse with the bow, the initial scene was I run up and I grab him and then I slam him to the ground. Well, in rehearsal, I run up and I grab him. As soon as I grab him, the horse backs up, steps right on my toe. Mind you, I'm wearing
Ouch.
moccasins. I'm wearing moccasins, so I immediately know, like, oh no. And I slam him to the ground and I walk it off, play it off because I don't want anybody to know. Well, lo and behold, I get back to my hotel room that night and I lost my big toe and my pointer toe toenail.
So yeah, ouch.
Yeah, but I kept that to myself the whole time because I wanted to, it was important for me that Red Feather was real,
Yeah.
and again that magic in the moment. He's got to be able to do this, If you can't fight through a broken toenail or maybe a sprained toe, then maybe you shouldn't be that character.
And you did not tell anyone?
No, no, I told no one because
Uh,
again, like it's a huge production and like
for
Red Feather's got
express
to be.
reasons, right?
Yeah, he's got to be tough, and
Yeah.
if I'm doing something and I'm all in, man, like cut it off if you need to. We're gonna keep moving forward.
How could you hide this pain?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe just growing up cowboy, boxing, playing football, growing up on the res. My brother made me laugh the other day. On the reservation, we were growing up, we had a dump where everybody would just big old hole in the ground and they had a dump. And I was talking to him, I'm like, like we didn't know, but our dad wanted us to box and our mom didn't. Anyways, mom let us box eventually, and I'm like, maybe it's boxing that we're so tough. And my brother Tyler goes, yeah, I think it might be boxing. And goes, but I think it's because we played in the dump as kids. Like, what were we doing playing in the dump, man? But yeah, we used to, just me and my brother were just pretty wild. And my dad said, "You guys were such rough little boys." He's like, "I needed you guys to ride bulls and wrestle and fight." And he's like, "I needed you," and it made us who we are.
And you don't box anymore, right? You are a coach now.
Yeah, so I'm a coach. I've been a U.S. elite athlete since the age of 12. Competed in regionals, held the state title in the middleweight and light heavyweight weight divisions for years. Um, for me, I still consistently stay in shape. I spar with my guys. Um, it's just ingrained in me. I don't think real fighters ever really retire. There's always that you got to still be ready. So in my culture, when kids reach a certain age, you're given a knife, and you're told that it's your job, your duty to keep this knife sharp, clean, polished, and ready. And then you also teach the individual, now that knife symbolizes you. This is you. So you're always supposed to be, ready to go, sharp, polished, and clean. And that's just who we are as people, as you're always taught. Like at the end of the day, you are your first line of protection. You are your own security detail. You're in charge of that.
Uh, People would love to have a second season of American Primeval. What do you think about that? What's your opinion?
Um, yeah, for me personally, I think it was done very, very well. Um, for me, I think it goes to know that if there is another season, I necessarily don't have to be attached to it. What I take away from it is knowing that if I have a seat at the table and I've done my job well, correctly, and enough, I've created more seats on that table for people that look like me. And I think that's my takeaway for sure. Is knowing that doing the best I possibly can, I've created another seat or seats for others.
Maybe the second season would be about Red Feather's son.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
knows?
Mosiah, the little boy, is again, not dramatizing anything. This is being honest and real and authentic. He's such a talented, beautiful little boy. He very, very strong. He's got that bright future, in what he does. He was outstanding, got to spend, naturally, of course, when you're working with somebody, you want to spend time with them. And we played games, and actually, I really miss that kid. He's a hell of just a hell of an individual. There's something special about him, though. So you're going to see a lot from Mosiah.
So he's going to be a great actor when he grows up, or he already is a great one, right?
Yeah, he's already a great actor. I really look forward to seeing what the future holds for him, for
Mm.
sure.
I'm curious if you would ever cut your hair for a role. Good question.
So yeah, as of right now, I recently turned down a role because they wanted me to cut my hair. Um, and at this point in my life, I'm not ready to do that. Um, Only because there's a big push for me. I feel like, yes, boxing and acting has given me a platform, but I believe there's a higher calling. For me, I want to try to help my people reconnect to their roots and who they are. And again, um, I think our hair is really important, especially, growing up on the reservation, coming where I'm from. I live in Las Vegas now, and I have a little boy, and he's always had long hair. And I know for sure that I'm a huge part of that. It's monkey see, monkey do. So I know he goes to school, and there isn't a school year where I don't worry that he's going to want to cut his hair, which is fine. But I want to make an unbiased observation for him so he can see that if my dad has long hair, I'm okay with having long hair. And I do teach him, this is your power, this is your connection, this is your antenna to the universe. So I guess that'd be definitely for sure why I won't do it right now. Maybe one of these days later on down the road, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But right now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna maintain my long hair. So there's roughly over 500 different tribes in the United States, and each tribe has their own traditions and beliefs.
Yeah.
But at the backbone of it, the hair is kind of one of the one of the main pillars of that. Um, so as far as them cutting their hair, I think that goes down to the individual tribe. But I believe that there's a high percentage that all believe the very same thing. Our hair is it's kind of an identity to us. It's who you are. And again, like I said earlier, a leaf on a tree cannot exist without its roots.
Yeah. Well, I invite you because you all indigenous people have beautiful long hair. And I'm always having trouble growing my hair. It just maybe it's my age or I don't know what, but you all have beautiful long hair. And do you have any secret what you put on your hair to be this healthy?
No, a little fun fact though. In my family, myself and my son are the only ones in the family that have curly, wavy hair.
Mm.
Everybody else is just straight hair. Um, I always thought that was kind of cool, and I teach
Yeah.
again, I teach them that it's good to be, you have a fingerprint, and on that fingerprint there's no match in this universe. So you be proud of of being different. You be proud of being who you are. Um, but I do when I braid my hair, I like using Montana oil. I think it's
Yeah.
one of the greatest products I've ever used. It's just perfect.
You are, I'm not sure if I say it correct. You are Paiute Shoshone. How you say?
Yes, I'm a
Uh,
direct descendant of War Chief Numaga, son of Chief Winnemucca, son of Chief Truckee, probably Shoshone, or what we would call ourselves is Nua, the people.
okay. Could you talk about a little bit of the culture?
Yeah, so my tribe actually is an unspoken native empire. Paiute Shoshone, we're all one big people, Nua, the people. Um, and then sometimes and when the visitors came through and they started naming us Paiute, Shoshone, the Snake people, whatnot, they labeled some of us as the Bannock. Bannock is Banite, meaning anybody north of you. Um, I think U.S. history has hidden that us as the Nuwa people hold the longest, deadliest, bloodiest Indian wars in U.S. history.
Wow.
Over 4 years, we defeated the U.S. government in war multiple times through guerrilla warfare, through the Paiute Wars. There's two books written on it. One, The Deadliest Indian Wars. Two, Sand in the Whirlwind, which is written by about my grandfather Namaga and the Winnemucca family. It's uh, a book that I'd like to see pushed, especially amongst our Nua and our kids, to let them know who you come from, where you come from. You know, a lot of these, there's a lot of these non-natives in these forums talking about, well, you were defeated by the U.S. government. We weren't defeated by the U.S. government. The U.S. government couldn't defeat us. So they signed a treaty, a legal obligation they have to us now, that they meet at the bare minimum, but it's still a treaty because they couldn't defeat us. They couldn't wipe us out. So they've tried to install this genocide on us, a step program where we're still dealing with the effects of that genocide.
What about this? You teach me one Shoshone word, and I teach you one Hungarian word. What do you say?
Sikimanai.
Okay. What
This
does
means forever.
what does it mean?
Forever.
Oh, forever. Oh, Sikinamai. That's a
Sikimanai.
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 Okay. I teach you a very easy word, okay? Because Hungarian language is pretty hard to learn. But thank you. It's köszönöm. Köszönöm.
Köszönöm.
Oh, you see, you speak perfect Hungarian.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got another fun little story. So when I'm not filming, and it's kind of where I started, I've been the king of Hungary.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I do a show here in Las Vegas called the Tournament of Kings, where I'm a knight and a king, and I joust and ride horses, and I've been the king of Hungary, where I do a fight with the Morning Star. It's one of the coolest shows. If you're ever in Vegas, definitely check it out. Big thank you to Patrick Jackson, producer of the show. Ivan, he's the manager, and it's it's kind of the baseline of where I've come from, and it's helped me grow a lot as an actor and a performer. Um, I think for me, I learned so much, and I still learn so much. Being able to do that show. Um, it's I've always been on a horse, but moving away from home, I wasn't able to have that as I was a professional athlete fighting here in Las Vegas. And then once I found that there was horses here, and I'm like, hey, that's where I need to go. And again, big love to the director of that show, Phil. He helped me grow as an individual too. So, I learned a lot from those guys, and I still do to this day. But yeah, man, I've been the king of Hungary.
wow, that's great. How many horses do you have?
So back home, we have a few we keep down by the ranch. and then we have a small herd up in the mountains, and they're always kind of running free. Then we use the ones down below to go get the ones on top. So back and forth. So I'd say maybe a handful.
Do you always ride bareback or no?
No,
Just
not really. So
always.
I have a saddle. I usually use a saddle. Only when it's called for do I ride bareback for like usually film or stuff or whatever. Sometimes though, like I had a horse that raised me. His name was Cinnamon. He was the son of Kauai Jet, racehorse right off the track in Boise, Idaho,
Yeah.
quarter horse, and his mother was a Spanish Arab. And we ended up racing these horses in Warm Springs, Oregon, and I got second place. I got fourth place on Cinnamon. If they would have started us on time, I came in fourth because he turned his hoof and he was limping. And so I came in fourth, but if they would have timed us, we would have won. We started late, we would have won. But about 2 years before that, we won the suicide endurance race on his brother, Prince. And those horses, actually, I tell people that I've learned more from the horse than I can from any human being. It's
Mm.
huge part of why horses.
I
Princess
love
and
I love horses. I'm a huge dog person and dogs and horses.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I don't know if you have a dog or not, do you?
yeah. So everybody always asks me what my tattoo means, and I actually have a tattoo from when I was a
Oh,
little boy. Yeah.
oh,
So
okay.
it says outlaw, and it has a pit bull,
Oh,
and so the reason being is my mom used to raise pit bulls. And then my dad, because of me and my brother, we were always real rough little guys. He would call us little outlaws. So it says outlaw with the pit bull for my mom and my dad.
oh, that's nice. What do you have? It's a boxing injury you have there.
So yeah, I got a lot of scars from
Yeah.
boxing, and I actually have a scar from jousting here.
Oh.
But this one is I wish I had a real cool story. Um, but I do have a dream to go with that story. Um, So the real scar came from when I was a little boy. I didn't have a basketball, and I really loved to play basketball. So we had a horse trailer, and I put a little makeshift rim on the horse trailer, and I had a coffee can as my basketball. So I
Mm.
would play basketball with a coffee can, and I don't know what happened, but the coffee can ended up hitting the horse trailer, bounced back, and cracked me in there. So then I got that from a
Oh,
coffee can playing basketball.
wow.
Yeah.
I was sure that it's from boxing.
Yeah, no, I got if you
Yeah.
really look, I got actually a lot of
Uh,
scars. I got sideways nose, and that nose is from my little brother, who's a heavyweight. Again, he was a professional too. He was sparring the best in the business when he was 16 years old. Lou Duva main events, they were flying him back across the United States, and his name's Tyler Hinkey. He's the best athlete I've ever seen. He was sparring the best in boxing as a professional at 16. He would come home, play basketball this week, next week, go play football. Just a standout athlete in everything he's ever done.
there are videos on YouTube channel with you and your brother.
Yeah, we've helped a lot of the best in UFC and boxing, been paid sparring partners, not just sparring partners. And it's just been really cool to see. Like I was at a crossroads in my life where I actually worked for the federal government as a firefighter. Um, and my brother was just killing it in boxing, and then that's kind of how I kind of left boxing, but I came back because of my little brother. And I was sitting on a fire engine, and I had just won the state title at light heavyweight, and I had the option to go to regionals or continue as a GS employee for the government. And this is really one of those things where I believe the universe is winking at me. So I'm sitting on my fire engine as a one of the youngest fire captains in Nevada, and I have Muscle and Fitness, the magazine, and the champion Frank Mir's on the cover, UFC champion Frank Mir's on the cover, and I'm looking at this magazine, and mind you, I'm a smaller guy. I'm like 6'2", and at that time I was competing at 175 pounds. And I see this magazine, and I'm like, man, I would love to, trade leather with that guy. He's such a stud. Fast forward to us turning pro and our promoters moving us to Las Vegas. 2 years into our career, we're at a gym, Ken Han's Striking Unlimited, and I walked past the cage and Frank Mir's in there, and
Wow.
his coach, Ken Han, says, "Hey, we'd like you and your brother to help him get ready for Brock Lesnar," and we ended up helping Frank, who's one of the best ever in the cage, to fight Brock Lesnar, and he won.
Derek, thank you so much for your time, and I'm really grateful that you repeated this interview with me, and I'm glad it's finally working.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. It's an honor and a pleasure, and I appreciate all you do for all Native actors. For film in general, American Primeval, Dark Winds, Americana. Like that's for us as the invisible Americans, the original Americans. It's good to see that we're being seen worldwide.
Well, you are not invisible, that's for sure. You all are very talented, and it's my greatest pleasure to share everything on this fan page and tell and show the people how great you are. Not just talented, but multi-talented, and it's really it's not a work. It's a pure joy and happiness,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you all very much.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again, and hopefully see you soon on the screen, right?
You bet. You bet. A rising tide raises all ships. Keep rising, my friend.
Thank you.